Welcome into Talking Sports with JP. I'm your host, John Price. My guest is Keegan Rothrock, the 2022 Gatorade National Softball Player of the Year, back-to-back Indiana State champion, and Florida Gator commit. Keegan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us the process of going from a team's number 4 pitcher to being considered the top pitcher in the country?
It takes a lot of hard work. It took several years and a ton of hours outside of practices with like coaches, practices with teams, just a lot of working alone and just putting in the time to make myself better.
In an article that I read, you were quoted as saying you felt as if you couldn't throw a strike. You've come a long way from there. But you also mentioned that when you would come home from school, you would either be in the backyard or at a facility working on your simple mechanics. What tangible part of those simple mechanics would you say you've improved the most over the past 2 years?
The movement of the actual mechanics themselves. I think that I've gotten a lot stronger, and so it just makes it easier.
You've accomplished so much in 2 seasons of varsity softball. What stands out the most to you?
Probably just the breaking the records themselves. Coming into it, there was only one record I really wanted to break, and I didn't really realize that I had the ability to break all of the other records along with the strikeout record. The strikeout record was the one I wanted to break, but then I started breaking the other records, and I didn't really realize that I had that ability until I started to do it.
Well, I'm just going to throw some numbers out then. 52-2, an ERA way below 1, over 700 strikeouts, and actually that number's closer to 750 than 700. But what caught my attention the most was the 15 no-hitters. What would you say the difference is between number 1 and number 15?
I would say probably the biggest difference, just the confidence level. I think once I had gotten into like those later no-hitters, I had more confidence and just a lot more self-confidence just in myself and in my teammates behind me.
I'm talking with Roncalli High School senior softball pitcher Keegan Rothrock. What is your vision for your final season?
For my final season, I would like to break 1,000 strikeouts. I think it's completely doable if I continue to work hard and just continue to stay at the pace that I'm at. I would also just like to have the team have fun and not make the game too complicated, not make it more complicated than it needs to be. I just really want to go out with a bang for my senior year. And I think all the other girls would agree with me as well.
You and your teammates just seem to have such a great bond on and off the field. What is that like?
It's awesome. A lot of us have actually grown up playing together on travel teams. Some of the other girls have grown up in school together, and so all of us have a connection one way or the other. And I think that coming into high school, we like that connection just got stronger, and it has just made us better as a team, and it has just made us have great chemistry especially on the field. I think that's really helped us.
We've known each other for about 10 years now, and I feel like from the first time I seen you until the last time I seen you that you've always had something to do with that Florida Gator logo on you, around you. And you've been committed to Florida since the 7th grade, and that commitment has never wavered. What is it about Florida that has kept you committed for so long?
I would have to say the coaching staff and the academics. The coaching staff of Florida is awesome. They have been great throughout the process of just continuing to build a relationship between myself and all of the other commits, I would say. So I think the coaching staff has been a huge deal. And I know a lot of times, like with the athletics, you can't study what you want to study, especially as an athlete. And one of the things Florida does is works their practices around your major. And so I think that was one of the other big draws, was that I would be able to study what I want to study and go into those fields and not be restricted by the sport.
Well, I know academics is a big thing for you. You've just received National Honor Society, and Florida, their softball program is outstanding. They ranked number 2 recently by D1 softball. But education-wise, The University of Florida is top 5 in the country. What is it you plan on studying at Florida?
I would like to study pre-med um, during my undergrad years. And then once I finish pre-med, I would like to go into pediatrics. I've always enjoyed working with kids, being around kids, and I also want to be a doctor, so I figured put the two together.
So earlier I had mentioned that you were the 2022 Gatorade National Softball Player of the Year. Part of that process is that you get invited to the ESPYs. What was that like?
It was a ton of fun. We unfortunately were not able to actually meet anybody just because of all like the COVID stuff still out in California. But we had a hospitality suite across from the red carpet where all the people were walking, and all the celebrities and whatnot. All those people were walking the carpet, and so we did get to see all of them, and it was really cool to just see them from afar, but still be within their radius. Just kind of in the same place that they are and see them in person. So I think it was just really cool to see everything go live. And then the commercial breaks were also extremely cool to see what they do when they aren't on TV. So I thought that was also another really cool part of the ESPYs.
So joining me is Keegan Rothrock. She is Max Prep's top softball player for the class of 2023. Roncalli's colors are red, navy, and white. And you played for a little bit bigger of a team with almost those exact same colors. So what was it like pitching for Team USA's U18 women's softball?
It was a ton of fun. I was actually the youngest girl on the team. And so I took the opportunity to just ask the older girls questions. Majority of the team was, they're already freshmen in college. They're sophomores now. But I really took the opportunity to kind of get their insight on stuff, especially because they've already gone through a semester of college. And so they kind of have somewhat a good amount of school under their belts. And so I picked their brains, softball and academic, school-wise, just how they go together. And so it was just a really cool experience to have so many people to look up to and to meet so many new people as well.
There, you faced 20 batters and struck out 18 of them. What motivates you to continue improving?
There's a lot of stuff I would say that would motivate me. One of the biggest things is to actually go and play in the Olympics again for the national team when I'm old enough, and when softball goes back through the rotation of Olympic summer sports. One of the other big things for me is to break more records at Florida. I'd say the biggest one would be the strikeout record.
You've accomplished a lot already in your career. What would you say is your favorite moment?
One of my favorite moments is winning the state titles. There was just no other feeling comparable to that, especially with just having my teammates around me and just the team chemistry we've had the last 2 years. And then the other memorable moment for me would be winning 2 gold medals in South America. I mean, not a lot of people can say that they've done that.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
So I think by that time, softball would be back in the Olympics, I believe. And so one of my dreams, and by that time, is to be on the women's national team. So I could possibly see myself doing that in 5 years, or going through med school for that, but then after that, opening my own practice.
I really appreciate you taking the time this evening to speak with me, and I wish you luck with the rest of your career, Keegan.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have today on Talking Sports with JP. Come back next time, and we'll try to get Keegan back on, and we'll look a little more into the rest of her career because she's also got a pretty good bat on her. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.